Shoot to the right of the plate then. And suck less.
That's hitting it.
Aim high right on the plate for you.
Is that hitting it?
No.
Damn it.
All right, what eye are you shooting with?
My right.
Huh, let me see. I don't know. I think the dynamics for you are just a little bit off or something. All right, no time to worry about it. Let's go shoot you the high point.
Okay.
Maybe Crockett 20 can hit with a high point.
That's a bad day.
No, it isn't. Come on, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, of FaceTube, of the print media, of the world, welcome. Glad you're here. If you are a combat pistol fan, if you are a fan of the Smith & Wesson M&P9, M&P40, I think this video will be a good use of your time. I'm going to show lots of shooting. I'm going to talk about lots of things very methodically, as I always do on my tabletop reviews. You, of course, are watching more of the Nut and Fancy Project, the original Gear Adventure channel, the original tactical gear channel. And as many of my subs know who have been watching for some time, I'm often copied, but not quite duplicated. Probably lots of reasons why. Been doing this since, what, 1998? I'm kidding. Seems that long, but no. Been doing it for a while. There's a large body of work, a wide variety of subject matter, a very consistent and methodical approach to systems, to philosophies of use, and I could go on and on. But I think the real reason is this about T&P, is I just don't give a crap. I don't. When it comes right down to it, I don't care about being famous. I don't care about looking cool. I don't care about my image. I just care about serving my friends across the world, all 5 of them. There's that sense of humor again. With quality information, hopefully fun information that can help them in their systems, in their lives, in their defense of freedom. That's what motivates me. One more.
If I step on a few toes along the way, sorry. Not really. That's just the nature of truth, man. Yeah, so, I mean, guys want unsub, see ya. Thanks for the memories. I have to be that way because otherwise it starts dictating what I say, how I approach a review. Well, if I say it this way, I might offend these people. Well, I don't care. And I think a lot of people do. There's another alley here on the table. And that's why they approach their media the way they do. Because they're looking for more subs, more coverage, all that other stuff. And I just don't give a crap. I don't.
Loving it.
I care about the truth, and the truth will set you free. Much like it did way back.
Not awesome.
In May 2010 with this pistol. The Smith & Wesson M&P9 Standard. Yeah, I think it's SKU number 178035. A Hall of Fame combat pistol. Speaking of combat pistols, here in the Nut and Fancy Project. I declared it as much
way back then. I love this gun. Awesome. In fact, I think when I posted this review, there was some, speaking of internet, by the way, I was kidding with a FaceTube thing. It's like Facebook, YouTube, FaceTube. Some people ask, hey, Nutton, why aren't you on Facebook? It's because I just don't care. With my job and this, it's so much. I'm struggling to keep up with everything. Maybe one day I'll open up my Facebook account. Maybe. If there's a need. FaceTube. There you go. I'll just call it that. But way back in 2010, with this review, there was some stupid internet, I don't know, controversy about how these guns were dropped from this department or that department for this issue. It was ridiculous, like weak extractors. And in that review, I totally stood up for the M&P series of pistols. I was like, that's bullshit. This gun is awesome, and I would trust my life with it. And lo and behold, since then, we've seen this gun be adopted by numerous agencies across the U.S. at least. We've got DEA running it, Cincinnati PD, New Jersey agencies run it, Florida cops run it, Iowa State Patrol, some college campuses. I'm just kidding. I don't know if college campuses or not. North Carolina, West Virginia PD, on and on the list goes. It's a very popular law enforcement gun. And after I reviewed this, I noticed a new model came out, and this is 3 years ago. By the way, if you're wondering, this gun is hot. Yeah, it's hot. It came out of one of my systems, and I am not unloading it. It's running, I think, 124 Golden Saber plus Ps in this sucker. Awesome. I treat every gun like it's loaded, man. That's right. Sorry. Deal with it. I ain't unloading it. It's too much work. What? You wuss? No, it's just so many reviews. I ain't doing it. Trust me. We'll be careful. I handle loaded guns every day. You probably do too if you're a concealed carry permit holder. What's the big deal? All the time. Anytime I pull that trigger, I'll be dang sure it's unloaded. Dang sure. Saw this gun out, come out, loved it, reviewed it, shot it a lot. Then I saw this one come out, going into the Smith & Wesson catalog, circa 12. I know, my print media is a little bit outdated sometimes, but it hasn't changed. This is SKU 178010. We're going to talk about that gun. That is a Smith & Wesson Pro Series in 9mm. If you watched my Glock 34, 35 video, and over the years me shooting it in multiple drills, also, and we're going to talk about these pistols some more. Oh, speaking of the Glock 34, 35, here's a 34 Duracoated by myself. Sick! And what's that running? TLR3? Oh, that's a 4 on there. So, love this gun. I'm a fan of the long slide. That's where I'm going with this. Big fan. Also the XD525. This one right here.
There you go.
Awesome. It was time to test, or at least acquire and put into TNR here in TMP. Those stupid acronyms again. This gun. To see how it stacks up against these guns. And that's what this video is all about. And that will take us right to philosophy of use. Oh, by the way, I screwed up. It's not this gun.
Operator error.
It's that gun. There we go. Much better. And let's put it front and center.
Probably sabotage.
Oh, that's better. The Pro Series M&P. Perhaps, just perhaps, you have money burning a hole in your pocket from whatever source. You're thinking about buying a long slide or a longer slide combat pistol. Perhaps this video will help you. Maybe it won't. I don't know. And I will try to answer at the end of the video where I would spend my money if it were just these three choices. And no, this is not all inclusive. These are not the only long slide combat pistols around. There's other ones, but these are the ones that attract me the most, that I like the most. So there we go. Philosophy of use. The reason I like a longer slide pistol is because it's going to give me slightly more velocity and definitely a longer sight radius, right? I like that. Those are the two advantages. And with the longer sight radius, I can usually hit better and faster with this gun. That's why, speaking of POU, it's a very favorite competition pistol, the Smith & Wesson M&P9 Pro. Guys love it for that. IDPA, USP, SA, 3-gun steel challenge, you name it. informal competitions, I would go with a longer slide for the reasons we just talked about. These are options too, and these run awesome in those challenges and those competitions as well. Competition gun. Home defense gun absolutely has an integrated rail, which is requisite in my book, as I've always said. How about concealed carry? Well, I'll tell you what, I know guys that conceal carry the 34 and the 35, and they do so successfully. They do so relatively consistently. Well, okay, let me back up. Maybe not so consistently, because I know one dude, they carried it. He was bragging about carrying a Glock 35 all the time. I gear checked him 2 times without him knowing I was going to do it, and he did not have it on his person. So maybe in that instance, not so consistently. Which will drive the point, do you really need in a concealed carry role a longer slide? Consider this, in the United States of America, if you are a concealed carry permit holder, here comes some more of that original T&P philosophy, you do not have to carry a long slide pistol because the propensity for you needing that gun is so infinitesimal. Sorry, it just is. Why take the extra weight? What? Why? Carry something more compact, slimmer, lighter, says me. When I know I have to use a handgun in the fight, whatever it is, and we can say the fight is the competition. Okay, we're shooting 3 guns. That's going to be a fight for all intents and purposes. I know I'm going to go to my handgun. This makes good sense. All 3 of these guns do, actually. They give me a slight advantage, the sight radius, right? Perhaps velocity, take you up to the next higher power factor, depending on what the round is you're shooting. Concealed carry permit?
No planes coming.
Nah. You'll never see me, I shouldn't say never, but it will be a very rare occasion you see me packing a long slide for CCW. Nope. Recreational, absolutely. I think longer slide guns, especially the M&P9, M&P 40, well, I should say the M&P9 Pro, is a little bit funner to shoot for me than this one. Slightly. I just like the longer sight radius. I'm going to leave POU at that because you can go back to the original May 2010 review if you want a more in-depth discussion. I think you get it. These are going bye-bye for now. That takes us size, width, weight, balance, and feel. There's that methodical approach that I always promise and sometimes deliver. Well, it's not the super lightest long slide out there at 29 ounces with a magazine in it. The Glock 34 is. Glock 35. And I'm all about weight, usually. Not always, but usually I'm about weight. Now, if we're talking competition, that weight's going to be an advantage for us because it settles the gun down. It may be slightly slower into action, but you won't notice. A heavier gun in competition is my preference. If I'm shooting a drill out in a sledgehammer, I do not mind at all a heavier gun. As long as we're not running all day. Because I've ran some 1911s out there, and dang, those 40 ounce guns, yeah, you run 20 times back and forth, half mile each time. It gets a little bit old.
Nice.
A little bit heavier. You'll have to decide whether that's an advantage. Is it a big deal when you're not going to be concealed carrying this? I don't know. What's your system? You know, and I didn't say law enforcement officer with the long slide, I think you're going to be better suited the standard gun, M&P. It would make more sense. By the way, let's jump in real quick and talk about some other variations since 2010 that have come out. And I don't know if they're in this 2012 catalog. For instance, the M&P9 VTAC, SKU number 209921. It's a 4 1/4 inch barrel. It's very cool. It's got the very much preferred desert coloration that I love so much, as my guys know. There is a limited edition Cabela's version. It's a flat desert earth one, of course, available from Cabela's only. It's just basically an FDE frame with a black top, has some other accessories. There are California and Massachusetts and some other state compliant models that if you guys live in those localities, first off, I extend my apologies. But if you do and you want to buy an M&P, as you know, you can. And there's some other models that will come and go over time. This is one of my favorites. It would actually, if I bought one and I knew I was going to be competing with it, it would be this one for sure. If it was up between maybe a home defense gun, maybe an all-around tactical pistol, I'd really think seriously about this versus the VTAC. The width is the same as we've seen. Let's throw it up against a Glock, which is 1.18 inches. About the same. And while we're here, let's take a look at sight radiuses. I'll get to the sights. I know you guys may be wondering about that. Glock 34 has an advantage slightly over that. Here comes XDM 525, which I love. And don't think I'm going to like speak bad of these pistols. I mean, we don't have to be myopic. Hey man, I just like Smith & Wesson M&P. And I hate Glock. I hate XDM. I hate it when guys do that. How about you acknowledge design excellence in all the models? You go, hey man, that is a great pistol, that XDM 525. I love it. I just shoot the M&P better. That's a mature perspective. One I've advocated since 2008 here in TMP. Is that, hey, it doesn't work for me. It's great. I love it. I've shot it. It's awesome. I like this one. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing at all. The balance is outstanding. It has a very low bore axis, as we talked about. Still love that. Fast shot recovery. Although I don't know if it's vastly superior or even that much different in my shooting, though I'm not the expert of the 34, 35, or XDM series. Call me crazy. How about firepower? How about outstanding? 17 rounds. Now I think this XD carries like 400 rounds. I'm kidding, it's 18. So it's one more round, but it has a longer grip. No surprise there. I run +2 base plates on the 34. So that's packing what? +2, like 20. I download it. You can't cram that all in there. So they're about on par. The firepower, if you can't get it done with one magazine, dude, bad day. Bad day. If it's in 40 cal, it's 15 plus 1. By the way, I still love the 40. 10mm is probably my all-around favorite handgun cartridge when things get serious and I don't have a rifle or a combat shotgun. Yeah. Love firepower though. Outstanding. We talked about that. On to accuracy, and dang, did I shoot this gun a lot. This is a good time to tell you the following. I did not and do not like the sights that come on the Smith & Wesson M&P9 Pro. That's right, and I find that very surprising because they're Novak fiber optic. They're not on the gun now. I've took them off. I was trying to find them tonight. I don't know where they went. They look great, and it was one reason I was super stoked on the gun. I'm like, awesome. Kind of set up for competition, i.e. the drills we do in TMP. That's great. Stage. The problem is I just could not get on steel with them. You know, was it me? No, because I shoot all types of pistols, and you know, I just knew this thing was shooting high, so I started researching what sights can I put on there. There are some great sight options for the Smith & Wesson M&P9 series. I finally ended up with these. They're Warren sights. Savigny, I think they're called. Warren Savigny, if I'm saying that right.
It's cold out here, isn't it?
And they solved the problem. I was able to get on with those. Prior to that, I was shooting high. I mean, we go shoot drills. I'm like, tink, 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 going over it. Actually, I wasn't connecting at all usually. I'd have to shoot bottom plate, no matter what the range, 15 to 45 yards before I would connect. Okay, so that's that. Don't like the sights. I could not get them on, nor were they, I'm trying to remember, I don't think they're adjustable. You just have to take them as is. And I was shocked, because I definitely didn't have that problem with the XDM 525, because you have that. An elevation adjustment, which is high value, if you ask me. I like it when a gun allows me to do that. These are Heine straight 8s on the Glock 34, and they're just on. They don't need any adjustment. They just work. And they, by the way, have probably my overall favorite sight presentation picture. Let's look at the paper after I think the sight changed. Maybe not. Let's see. This is all the way back in 2011. 7 yards Blazer. Great group there. It's been so long, dudes. I really can't remember where I was aiming. I could have been aiming way down here in order to print. I don't remember. In the video insert that I'll do during the review, you may see me talking in the background, and I'll be narrating what happened and my frustration at the time. That's a great group. Well, not great. It would have been great than all three of them in there. Like that. Damn. Like that. Yes. All right. That's motivational. Group there. Group there. I'm going to go fast like that. Like that. Off the paper. And this is 10 yards, 19 degrees outside, so that's kind of frigid for me. Pussy! Excuse me. That's alright. 10 yards though, standing in the desert. Yeah, talk to me. Try it and then talk to me. Good group. I like that. Open up there. That's Remington 115 FMJ. Blah, blah, blah. Here comes 2012. 15 yards rested. Getting serious. These are the Warren sights, new ones. 3 rounds. Good.
Pretty much in there.
I need to drift the rear because this is where I was aiming. It's shooting right, of course. So I need to drift it left. There you go.
From the low ready.
Oh, yeah.
That'll save a little bit of time.
So good. Let's bring in the 34-35. Which one do you shoot better with in terms of accuracy, Nutton? And by the way, this is just a meaningless data point because your mileage could be completely different. I shoot both of these better than I do that one.
Yeah, I have to.
What? I just do. I mean, I've shot all these guns, so many rounds. I just do. That's just me. For some reason, the ergonomics, I know they're excellent, but I just have a harder time hitting with an M&P. I just do. Now, once I settle down, I remember how that gun shoots, I'm on it. And that's what you're seeing on the paper. However, if you looked at the 34-35 video I did and the paper I showed you there, at 7 yards, I'm basically shooting one hole. Same with this gun.
Yeah.
There you go. Just a meaningless data point. How about ergonomics? Speaking of whether the gun will fit you or not. Well, I don't have them on the table, but as we talked about in 2010, you have interchangeable back straps. And as I've always said, I think 90% of the people will just leave the one that comes on it, the medium-sized one.
It's nice.
If your hands are really small, really big, swap them out. Rocking. One thing that kind of annoys me with M&P series, and it's not just this gun, it's also on the XDM, is you can actually pinch your hand fat. Come in here, bang! Kind of like that. So watch this area carefully. Magazine release is completely ambidextrous. You can swap it over. This is actually a really good lefty pistol because you have a slide release over there too. Excellent. The grip is nice. There are modifications by folks out there. They'll take the solder gun and they'll just put dimples in it and make it even more awesome. Grip angle is excellent. There is some undercut portion of the polymer frame. It's actually a Zytel. There's no checkering here. It's not fully squared. I wished it was. Kind of like Mr. Glock. But I'm the only one in the world that shoots that way, so what's it matter? No one else shoots like me. Finger hooked over the trigger guard. Are you insane, dude? What are you thinking? I hit that way. That's what I'm thinking. I do a lot of damage that way. Hinged trigger. Talking about ergonomics. How does it pull out of box? Well, let's find out. You won't have to go ask the owl. Lyman digital trigger scale. Here we go. Should pull around 6, I think. 5'11". Okay. So that's not too bad. I don't think my inability to shoot into one hole with this group is due to the trigger. I think the trigger is okay. It's not perfection, and there's a lot of great trigger mods out there for the M&P series, kind of like the Apex. They got a hard sear, striker block, AEK trigger, I forget. You get a comp version of the Apex trigger. It pulls at like 3 pounds, intended for, you guessed it, competition, or the duty carry, about 5.5 pounds. Be a good mod, but it's money. I think if you're going to slap this on here though, and it's going to say Pro Series, and I'm going to roll the XDM 525 in this, damn, put a good trigger in it. I mean, one that pulls at like 4 pounds. I don't know if they can do that for liability reasons, but that's what I'd like to see. This one is also in the same philosophy of use as this one. It's intended as a competition pistol, first and foremost. It should pull light. That's one reason I really like the Glock, because I can put a 3.5 pound ghost connector in there, or whatever brand you like. It'll lighten it up. You know, makes it nicer, and it's cost effective. So 5 pounds, 11 ounces is what it pulls. Let's show the reset on this. So we fire, slide cocks, right there. That's reset, which for me is adequate. I'm not a reset snob. I'm a trigger snob, but not a reset snob. I think some guys are. Well, where's it reset? I don't know. Well, I can't shoot fast if it doesn't reset. I've shot with guys and they're hit all over the place on paper and they're blaming the reset. Well, the reason I can't hit is because reset sucks. No, the reason you can't hit is because you suck. Says me. Your marksmanship fundamentals suck, and they'll throw out all types of smoke screens, but it's their trigger pull that's bad. It's their grip that's bad. It's their stance. They're leaning way over, and they can't shoot. I saw a guy shooting a 34 this way. If I can find the footage, I'll show you. And he was all over the place with his 34. Dang, son. Alright, so that's a trigger. Reset. It pulls okay. It's not the most crisp trigger in the world. Talked about the grip angle, pick rail. I love the serrations. There's a scallops we've always seen. You have a loaded chamber indicator, which is not tactile. It's visual only. If you want such a thing, I think it should be tactile. I think we got that here, don't we? Right there. If you want such a thing. I don't care if the gun has it or not. This does not have the magazine safety, by the way. So glad. I don't think any combat pistol should have that. My mileage. Ergonomics are very squared away. Are they perfect? It actually depends on how it interfaces with you, the shooter. That's my answer on that. Are they perfect? How about field strip? I'm kind of, by the way, making this a self-contained video, as you figured out. I was just going to do like a 10-minute update video, but I'm like, it's been so long, 4 years. You don't have to bounce back and forth between videos. There you go. Got it. Well, I've never had a problem with pulling the trigger for takedown. I think it's ridiculous to have a problem for that. With that, sorry, I just don't. If you do, there is a C.O.R.E deactivation lever in there. It's yellow. You can pull it up, and that way you don't have to pull the trigger to take down your M&P series pistols. Me, I don't give a crap. There we go again. Point it in safe direction. Rotate the takedown lever. Pull the trigger. Easy. Breezy. Simple. Great quality in this pistol. You'll see it everywhere. In the CNC milling, it's a stainless steel slide that is melanite coated. It will stand toe to toe with Tenifer in terms of durability. I love it. Stainless steel guide rod. Not a plastic one. Some guys really love that over the Glock. 4 big stainless steel guide rails contributing to the accuracy. Just a great gun. Simple to take down. I mean, it matches any other gun in terms of simplicity for takedown. That's field strip. Hope you liked it. They do include a takedown tool if you want to do that, I don't know, C.O.R.E deactivation. Enough said. The one good thing, well, there's many good things about the M&P series. It's even this long slide, ton of accessories. Since it's been so extraordinarily successful, both in the law enforcement market and in the civilian market, that means there is, of course, a lot to choose from. We talked about the trigger options already, and there's others out there. Probably. I didn't look. Me, I would just learn how to shoot it as is and save your money for another gun. Yeah, you can do the solder gun stippling if you want on the grip. There are also some grip inserts and applications. I showed you that on the Shield model, which are worth having. It is a little bit slick through here. My favorite ones still, because of their low cost and their effectiveness, are the decal grips in rubber.
M&P Pro
I think at Brownells are only like $9. Sights. You have Meprolite. You have 10-8 brand. You have True Glow sights. No, this is not for this gun. It is for Springfield XD. How you doing? XS Big Dot, which I absolutely detest. I do not like those sights. If you love them, no offense. Sorry, I hate them. They're imprecise. I don't like them. And then, of course, like you see here, you have the Warren sights. I love those. Those are available at Brownells, by the way. And they come in a variety of configurations for specifically the M&P series of pistols. Notice, by the way, I did the high-tech Testers fluorescent paint modification on the front sight. Oh, yeah. And that's a sweet freaking sight picture. Look at that. That Savigny rear is just very clean. You have exactly the right amount of air between them. And more importantly, it shoots on. That's cool. Doesn't need to be regulated. And I got to tell you, I was a little bit freaked when I ordered them. Like, God, I hope this thing shoots on. The main thing I don't like about sight problems with a gun, I mean where it's not regulated right, is that it's a time-consuming project.
Shoot again, I wasn't watching.
You got to go out and research it. You got to buy the sights. Oh, now it's not on. Now I've got to find a different front sight. Now I've got to grind it.
Let me see it.
Make sure I don't dick it up when I grind it. On and on we go. Holsters, take your pick. Serpa. I use that Blackhawk Special Ops nylon drop down because it fits everything. Blade Tech, DeSantis, Galco, tons of options, very successful. Magazines, of course, you should have, I would say, probably at least 5 per pistol. That's where I'd stick that. Great quality of mags, though, by the way. And I've been dropping these base plates over the years as I've shot these things, and they're great. They last a long time. How about value? I think the sucker runs around 7-ish for retail. Price will vary where you're at. Durability and reliability. I'm going to kind of wrap this up with the other ones too. It's melanite finish, stainless steel slide. It's outstanding. It's a forged barrel. It comes out of the Smith & Wesson U.S. produced factory. That's all to the good. Big stainless steel slide rails like we saw. Steel guide rod. The durability is, it's going to outlast you.
Whatever, I'm tired.
Yeah, I know somewhere, somehow, someone has broken their M&P series. They're probably bitching about it on the internet, but it is not representational of the type. Be careful what you read. Be careful what you believe. It will stand toe-to-toe with these two guns all day long. In pretty much every way you want to measure it. These are all outstanding designs. It really comes down to personal preference. It really does. And how well you shoot it. That's probably the most important thing. How well you shoot it. So if you're deciding, shoot all 3. Find someone or a range that has these guns. Spend a box of ammunition in each. And, I don't know. You know, check this out. See where you hit. Where'd that target go? The gun you will like most is a gun you do this with, probably. Says me. You know? That will be exciting to you. Maybe it's the XDM 525. Maybe it's this one. M&P Pro or 3435. Back to the question, Nutton, which gun would you buy if you had a choice? Oh, that's a tough question. Oh, I don't like to make decisions like this, but I will. Because I don't give a crap. Remember that? If I had to choose one and only one, 3435. What? Dude, now don't get me wrong. I love these guns. I rave about these guns. They're Hall of Fame guns. But this is more versatile in my particular systems. Actually, it's very versatile. You have 33 round mags for it. You have extended slide release. All of this is cheap. The trigger components are cheap. The sights are cheap. I have tons of options. I shoot it really well. Glocks freaking rock. This would be right there too, but these are both heavier than the Glock 34, 35. I shoot this one better than that one. Sorry, it's just the way it happened. I was pretty frustrated too in 2011, like, what is wrong with me, man? I cannot connect to this gun. Maybe I just suck. That's probably what it is. The amount that I prefer this one over that is very small. Very small. So, don't get excited. You know, I love this gun. And one thing I love about the XDM 525 is this. Freaking look at this case. It's like a Pelican case. You get 3 mags now with it. You get the duty gear. I talked about all this in the review. That's high value. Yeah, it's made in Croatia. A lot of the guns we like are made overseas. You know that. No surprise. All these guns are Hall of Famers. They're all outstanding. The Smith & Wesson M&P Pro is outstanding. Criticisms would be as follows. If you're going to call it a pro, put a pro trigger in it, a competition ready trigger in it right out the gate. Give it adjustable sights. So if it's not regulated, the dude shooting in competition, if he's shooting 115s, 147s, can regulate them. To me, that's a big miss. They shouldn't have done that. Other than that, everything else is to the good. The longer sight radius, about 6.4 inches, outstanding, increased velocity. Although it's been negated somewhat by modern loads.
Love it even more.
Hall of Fame pistol. That's about it. I love it. Go buy 3. Nutnfancy. See ya.
Long slide.